distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to formally welcome you all to the 16th edition of our series, PMB Administration Scorecard 2015 to 2023. This platform, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, gives opportunity to ministers of the Federal Republic to share their success stories in terms of performance, progress report and achievements to date in the life of this present administration. In the course of today's engagement, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the media that is regarded as the mirror of the society will be given the opportunity to ask pertinent questions as regards the performance of the oil and gas sector. For those who have been following this series, we have actually featured 15 ministers of the Federal Republic, and today we have as our special guest the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, His Excellency Mr. Timothy Silva, CON. Honorable Minister, I most sincerely welcome you to this engagement. With the permission of the Chief Coordinator and Moderator of this event, I would like to quickly recognize some of the Chief Executives from both ministries that are seated here today. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we have with us the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, Engineer Simbike C.A. Wabote. You are most sincerely welcome. Thank you very much for coming. Also with us, we have the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority Chief Executive, Engineer Farouk Ahmed. I welcome you. Thank you so much for coming. Also with us, we have the Commission Chief Executive of Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Engineer Benga Komolafe. I welcome you. Thank you so much for coming. We equally have with us the Group Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Malam Mili Kiyari. I welcome you, sir. Thank you for coming. Also with us, we have the Principal Chief Executive, Petroleum Training Institute, Dr. Henry A. Ademula. Thank you so much for coming. From the Ministry of Information and Culture, we have with us the two essays to Mr. President. First, we have Mr. Shegun Adeyemi. Mr. Adeyemi, I welcome you. Thank you. Another essay to Mr. President is here, Mr. Williams Adeleye. You're welcome. Seated next to him is the Executive Secretary, Nigerian Press Council, Mr. Francis Nwosu. I welcome you, Mr. Nwosu. Also with us, we have the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the News Agency of Nigeria, Mr. Buki Ponle. Mr. Wenko, thank you very much. Seated next to him is the General Manager and CEO of National Theatre, Professor Sunday N.S.C. Ododo. Thank you so much for coming. Also with us, we have the Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Mr. Sita Okechukwu. I welcome you, sir. Also with us, we have the Managing Director of Nigerian Film Corporation, Dr. Chidi Amadeke. I welcome you. Also with us is the Chief Executive of NICO, Malam Abdul Yahuza. I welcome you. Thank you so much for coming. Also with us, we have the Director General, Naruto, Malam Nurasoni Kangiwa. I welcome you. Also with us, we have the DG National Commission for Museum and Monuments, Professor Abba Isa Tijani. I most sincerely welcome you. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me say that this engagement is beamed live by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria and the Voice of Nigeria. It is also streamed live on the platform, the social media platform of the ministry. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me just drive you through the program of today's engagement. The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, who is the coordinator and the chief moderator of this event, will give an opening remarks, after which the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources will make a presentation. We will now move into a very important segment of this engagement, the question and answer segment, which specifically is meant for the gentlemen of the media. Please, to the gentlemen of the media, when we get to this segment and you are recognized to speak, You tell us your name, the media organization you are representing, and please restrict your questions and your comments to the issues to be addressed by the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources in his presentation. Please let us be decent enough in the use of language. Let us avoid any distractive conversation that could distort the flow of communication. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to at this point invite the Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lawal Mohammed, to please give his opening remarks. Honorable Minister, sir.
The Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources in the border, Chief Timothy Syria, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Culture, Mrs. Lydia Shijafia, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, Ambassador Gabriel Tanimu Aduda, the Special Assistants to the President, Media 1 and 2, Mrs. Adeyemi and Mr. Adeleye, the Directors General and 2 officers of agencies and directors under the 2 ministries, editors and bureau chiefs, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I think there is something magical about the oil industry. I think because my guest today is the Honorable Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, some people think probably there might be some oil blocks that will be given away. Otherwise, this is the first time I'm seeing some CEOs from my parastatals who have never attended before. Some of them claim they were not in Abuja, but today, because it's the Honorable Minister of State for Presidents, we are all here. Well, I wish you best of luck. Since this is our first gathering in 2023, I wish all of us here a Happy New Year. As I also welcome very warmly everybody to the first edition of the PNB Administration Scorecard Series for 2023 and the 16th edition overall. You will recall that we launched the PNB Administration Scorecard Series on October 18, 2022 as part of our efforts to massively showcase the remarkable achievements of the PNB administration. To date, we have hosted 15 honorable ministers. These are the Ministers of Works and Housing, Transportation, Aviation, Interior, Agriculture and Rural Development, Finance, Budget and National Planning, Water Resources, Environment, Mines and Sea Development, Science, Technology and Innovation, Power, Niger Delta Affairs, Women Affairs, Sports and Youth Development, and Police Affairs. Please allow me to put it on record that this program has enjoyed a massive media play thanks to the dedicated group of editors, bureau chiefs, and other journalists who have covered every edition since inception. The massive media play enjoyed by the Scorecard Series is also a reflection of the multidimensional approach to the program. Every edition has 4 channels of play. 1. Each edition is covered live. Nigerian Television Authority, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, and the Voice of Nigeria, in addition to being live streamed on the social media platforms of the Ministry of Information and Culture. 2. Each edition is reported by a myriad of dedicated journalists from the print, electronic, and social media, as I've stated above. Thirdly, excerpts from each presentation and made into bite-size, easy to read electronic flyers for easy circulation on social media and also via the phone. And lastly, video clips from each presentation are placed on public and private television stations across the country, with each presentation enjoying at least 1 week of airtime, usually on prime time. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, between the last edition of the PNB Administration Scorecard Series on December 22nd, 2022, and today's opening edition for 2023, a lot of things have happened in the polity. But the most significant has been naysayers and the opposition trying to distort the achievements of President Muhammadu Buhari for their own selfish ends. While some of the administration's fiercest critics said we have achieved nothing, others have admitted, though seemingly tongue-in-cheek, that it's only in the area of infrastructure that the administration has performed. Well, I want to say that both groups are wrong, very wrong. Yes, infrastructure development under the Buhari administration is unprecedented since the nation's return to democratic rule in 1999, and it has set the country on the path of development. But no, our legacy is more than in infrastructure. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of a social investment program that is unprecedented in the whole of Africa. A program that has enhanced the quality of life of the beneficiaries. Our pace-setting social investment programs like Empower, school feeding, conditional cash transfer, and GEP, that's the Government Enterprise Empowerment Program, have benefited millions of our citizens, both young and old, and this can neither be trivialized nor denied. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of putting Nigeria on the path of self-sufficiency in many staples, including rice. Fertilizer blending plants in the country have increased astronomically from 10 in 2015 to 142 today. The number of rice mills in the country has also increased from under 10 in 2015 to about 80 today. Little wonder that Nigeria, which was the #1 export destination for rice in 2014, according to Thai authorities, is now ranked at number 79. This is why we cannot understand the campaign promise of former Vice President Atiku Abubakar to throw open our borders if elected, because this will simply reverse all the gains of the past 7 years plus. But for Mr. President's insistence that Nigeria should produce what it consumes and consume what it produces, it would have been doubly difficult for our country to survive during the global lockdown caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of a revamped security sector in the face of unprecedented security challenges in the country. Today, the Nigerian military is being restored to its glorious past, thanks to Mr. President's foresight and doggedness in re-equipping the various services. And this has made it possible for the military to tackle insurgency and all other security challenges facing the country. As you can now see, this military has been recording successes after successes. Compare this with those who literally pass a vote of no confidence in our military by bringing in mercenaries to fight insurgency. Not only that, they looted dry all the funds earmarked to buy arms and ammunition for the military. Some of the alleged looters said they spent billions of naira just praying against Boko Haram. The Nigerian military, which has excelled in global peacekeeping operations since 1960 and has sacrificed a lot to keep our country united, has today regained its respect and influence. Due to the Nigerian police, which is steadily being repositioned to be efficient and well motivated, and to improve its capacity to face modern day security challenges. As the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs told us here last month, the Nigerian police now has a state-of-the-art National Command and Control Center. This is unprecedented. Other security agencies have not been left out in the area of capacity enhancement through training and modernization of equipment. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy in inclusiveness, especially in the areas of infrastructure and social development. There is no state in Nigeria today that is not witnessing at least a road or a bridge or a housing project, not one. The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning has also told us here how Mr. President approved tranches upon tranches of funding to states, irrespective of their party affiliation, to enable them meet their obligations to the people. We dare any part of this country to say that it has not benefited from the programs of the Buhari administration in one way or another. And we will happily counter that with verifiable evidence. The Buhari administration is leaving a legacy of leapfrogging Nigeria into the digital era. President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the Startup Bill to make Nigeria a global hub for digital talents and investment. Nigeria has also kickstarted the national rollout of 5G while increasing 4G base stations from 13,823 in 2019 to 36,751 today. Nigeria's digital economy has generated 5.4% of revenue target above the 2019 baseline. The country's fiber optic cable network has grown from 15,000 kilometers in 2015 to over 60,000 kilometers in 2022. And the country's